In the headlines, INEC chairman says commission ready for election overcomes cash challenge. Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria sues for calm, reassures banks will remain open to address Naira scarcity crisis. Again, gunmen attack Anambra police station, kill 3 officers. Away from Nigeria, 3 people found alive 13 days after quakes at death toll tops 46,000. Hello and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for joining. And now the details. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Mahmood Yakubu, has reassured Nigerians that the 2023 elections will hold on the 25th of February 2023, March 11, as scheduled, as cash and logistics arrangements are already in place. Mahmood gave the assurance when the chairman and his national commissioners inspected training centers for supervisory presiding officers and the national collation centers for the presidential election. Noel Samson was there and now reports.
Are you assuring me that your loyalty is to Nigeria and Nigerians only? Yes, sir.
The INEC chairman said the inspection exercise was imperative to make sure that all necessary logistics are in place ahead of the polls.
Logistics in terms of movement of sensitive and non-sensitive materials, we are good to go. By this time next week, Nigerians will be voting in over 176,000 polling units nationwide. And the outcome of that process for presidential election will be compiled here, and the choice made by Nigerians for the next president of the country will also be announced at this venue. So in essence, that is the purpose of the 2 trips we have undertaken today. One for the training of presiding officers, the other one inspection of facilities at the ICC, which will serve as our collation center.
He also used the opportunity to address concerns about election security, logistics, and cash problem.
We visited the CBN last week on the issue of cash for payment of some of the services, not all, some of the services that we are going to engage on election day. The bulk of payment for goods, works, and services is made by the Commission through electronic transfer. But there are certain critical services that we have to remunerate by cash. And that's why we went to the CBN for, and it's a small percentage of the budget. And the central bank has assured us that, as I keep saying, we will not suffer any encumbrances in that regard. So there are no issues with respect to that. On what is happening around the country, the protest that we have mentioned is a security matter. This is an issue that we are going to discuss with the security agencies. As you know, we have our own role clearly cut out, and others also have their own roles clearly cut out. But the most important thing is that we are working together. And they have assured, that's the security agencies, assured and reassured us that they will secure the environment for elections to hold peacefully nationwide. So we have no issues in that respect.
In all these engagements, the Commission has always reiterated its stand that it will deliver to Nigerians an election that will reflect the will of the people. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
In a similar vein, the INEC National Commissioner supervising Delta, Cross River and Edo States, Rhoda Gumus, has also assured that all is in place to conduct the February 25 and March 11, 2023 elections. The National Commissioner gave the assurance while inspecting some election materials in Asaba. The report.
The inspection exercise is part of activities geared towards ensuring that no stone is left unturned to give Nigerians a free and fair poll. During the inspection, INEC officials were seen configuring the Bimodal Voter Accreditation System BVAS in readiness for the elections. After the inspection, she is convinced that INEC will deliver on its promise of credible elections in the country.
Being on a meeting, seeing everything that is in place, and I'm very, very glad that we are ready for the election.
The Delta State Resident Electoral Commissioner Monday Udom, on his part, reveals that 305,245 voter cards have not been collected in Delta State.
For the new cards, it was very impressive. We had over 85% collection, We had 357 cards that came for new. And if we had collected 80-something%, you can do that mathematics and know that only about few cards were not, few thousand of cards were not collected. Then for transfers, that was wonderful. Over 90% of transfers were collected. The only one we had issues were the old cards left over 2019 election. We had only 20% collection in that card. And we had 244,000 of that card that were left over, and only about 20% of that were collected by the close of 5th of February when we closed for collection of PVC.
Chairmen of participating political parties in Delta State alongside security agencies also inspected sensitive election materials secured at the CBN branch in Delta State.
We have been in there. We have seen some materials. I think we have the presidential, we have the senatorial, but we have the presidential and senatorial, but the reps materials are not here yet. But they have promised us that before the end of the week, that the reps materials are going to arrive. We have not counted. We have not. All we did now is just to see that the process is ongoing. The materials and the hope of election is very clear and clear.
Despite apprehension in some quarters, the Commission is positive that the elections will be held as scheduled.
In the meantime, political parties in Anambra State have signed a peace accord ahead of the 2023 general elections. At the exercise, which took place at the Anambra State Police Command in Awka, 5 parties signed the accord, while others were absent. The report.
Speaking at the event, the Commissioner of Police, Echeng Echeng, represented by his deputy, DCP Peter Ozigi, along with the representative of the INEC RAC in the state, noted with appreciation the role of religious, traditional and community leaders in Anambra State, as well as civil society, social, cultural associations, and the media in appealing for peace before, during, and after the polls.
The command immediately to call the second meeting of all stakeholders, particularly the political parties and candidates, to commit themselves to a peace accord by signing the document as evidence of their preparedness for a peaceful 2023 general election in the state.
INEC has prepared. We are actually very, very prepared. Every arrangement is in top gear. The security organizations that are working very hard also, they are working with us and counseling with us. And so we are ready for the elections.
Representatives of political parties spoke on the need for INEC to conduct free, fair and credible elections come 25th of February and March 11.
I am very confident that INEC will do the needful because INEC has shown preparedness, they've shown commitment, and they've shown readiness to ensure that the people are allowed to choose their leaders.
It might not be completely free, might not be completely fair, but I think our irregularities will be at the barest minimum. So when we get our irregularities at the barest minimum, then we can have the election results will be acceptable.
Any candidate that wins knows that we have a lot of problems in Nigeria, and the person will swing into action to actually rebuild a new Nigeria.
Stakeholders are hopeful that with the commitment of government and the preparation by INEC, Nigerians will have a poll that reflects the wishes of the people.
Barely 1 week to the forthcoming presidential election, a spokesperson for Tinubu Shettima Presidential Campaign Council, Bayo Onanuga, has insisted that his principal deserves the support of President Muhammadu Buhari. The statement is contained in a post via his Twitter handle on Saturday. Onanuga noted that Tinubu campaigned vigorously for Buhari during the 2015 presidential election, adding that Buhari should do the same for Tinubu now that he is running for the president. Now, the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria says it is liaising with the body of bank CEOs to address the current challenges caused by the cash swap and scarcity of the redesigned banknotes. President and Chairman of the Council, CIBN, Ken Okpara, disclosed this in a statement on Saturday in Lagos. He said the banks will continue to remain open to serve the public as long as it was safe to do so. He appealed to the public to remain calm and eschew any act of violence, adding that the banking industry remained resolute and committed to finding ways to address all the related issues. Several commercial banks have been attacked by alleged bank customers with protests recorded in different states across the country over the scarcity of the redesigned banknotes. The Nigeria police have warned against comments and utterances capable of heating up the polity and triggering a crisis as Nigerians battle a cash crunch in the country. Force spokesman Olumoyiwa Adejobi said in a statement on Saturday that the caution became important due to the utterances of some persons or groups attempting to instigate the people against the government. The police, while warning Nigerians against violence, hooliganism, and vandalism that may jeopardize the ongoing electoral process, however, assured that they are working to provide a peaceful environment for all citizens to conduct their socio-economic activities. Earlier, Adejobi had warned against the destruction of bank facilities following the protests that hit several parts of the country. In a similar vein, depositors of old 500 and 1,000 naira notes on Friday accused the Central Bank of Nigeria, Jos branch, of deliberate refusal to collect their deposits, even when the deadline for the collection of the notes was yet to expire. The depositors who had gathered at the Jos branch of the bank said that they were at the bank since Friday morning, but were not attended to. Ado Musa reports.
Most of the depositors who gathered at the bank's building said they had arrived at the bank in the morning of Friday but were neglected by the officials of the CBN. They said even the codes they were asked to generate before filling the forms were not possible as internet connection was poor, and called on the CBN to do the needful to address the problem. I am from Toro local government area of Bauchi State. In the village, people don't have accounts with banks, so they gather their old money and ask us to deposit for them at the CBN. We have been here since morning, but they haven't collected the money. Honestly, we are in a difficult situation. Things are not good here at all. We have been at the CBN since morning. The officials of the bank told us to generate codes before we can deposit, but the network has been bad. We just don't know what to do. We have left everything to Allah. Whatever happens, we will accept it. If we lose the money, that is what Allah has permitted to happen. Many depositors have alleged that the CBN was not ready to collect the money, adding that the CBN's explanation on how and where to deposit the money was deceptive. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Gunmen have attacked a police station in Ogidi in Idemili North local government area of Anambra State, killing 3 police officers. The Anambra State Police Command spokesperson, Ikechukwu Ikenga, who revealed this, said that the incident happened on Saturday morning. He stated in a press release that the gunmen arrived in their numbers and shot sporadically, gaining access into the police facility and used improvised bombs to attack the buildings. There have been numerous attacks in Anambra State recently, including a Thursday attack by gunmen on staff of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, who were on training in Ukpo, Nnewi South local government area. 15 core members were also abducted in Ihiala, but were later rescued. You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at NSCDC arrests 2 drug addicts in Lafia. Details of this and more after the break.
documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Let's take a look at some of the main stories again. INEC chairman says commission ready for election overcomes cash challenge. Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria sues for calm, reassures banks will remain open to address naira scarcity crisis. Now, amidst allegations of incessant land fraud in Gombe State, the Gombe Geographic Information System, GOGIS, has issued 500 digital certificates of occupancy to address land dispute and cloning of CFOs in the state. Last year, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission said that land fraud is becoming more rampant in Gombe. At a press conference on Friday, the Director General, Gombe Geographic Information System, Kabir Usman Hassan, said that the government has captured over 14,000 plots in its database. Landowners who received their digital certificate of occupancy also share the experience of the application process.
We have captured all the manual files to digital one, and you cannot clone our certificate because we have a security on it. We have a security. Nobody can clone the certificate, as you can see. We have been calling those who have the manual certificate to come here and collect what we call update form. When you fill that update form, we'll upgrade you to a digital certificate in 1 week.
Seriously, that my property is authentic. Nobody can come to drag it with me because it was signed by His Excellency, and I'm grateful.
I know of a particular property that I had to buy twice, and so it's something that really wasn't palatable for me. So, but I had to buy it twice because of the disputes that was on the land. But now that this digitalization of CFO has come, the coordinates of the land can be captured easily, and so that now makes it impossible for somebody to come and claim a property that has been assigned to you as an individual.
Three suspected drugs addicts have been arrested by Nasarawa State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps in Lafia. The State Commandant of the Corps, Abba Baffa, made this known while parading the suspects in Lafia. Abubakar Abdullahi sent in the report as presented from our studio.
The Nasarawa State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, in keeping with the mandate of the command for securing communities across the country, has continued hunting down criminals of all categories, leading to the arrest of many in the state. Parading the three suspected drug addicts in the state, the State Commandant of the NSCDC, Abba Baffa, said the suspects were arrested at Kurikio Road, Datinkowa in Lafia, an area facing criminal threats in the state capital. The commandant, represented by the Public Relations Officer of the command, Jerry Victor, explained that the command gathered intelligence on the activities of the arrested persons and swung into action that led to their arrest.
In Datinkowa area of Lafia, they have been suspecting or have a little rate of crimes and criminality in that area. And of course, the commandant of NSCDC, National State Command, Commandant Abbas Bapa Mohammed, deemed it fit to fix in surveillance within that areas. And within yesterday, those suspects were caught in that area. course, we have some in them, in possession of them. We have some wraps of bundles of India hemp. We have they have a very sharp edged knife with them, and also some substances that, of course, this is what they use in aiding them in committing all these kind of crimes we have in the society. So just like the way the saying goes, if you don't curtail them taking this kind of drugs, at the end of the day, they will end up causing a menace to the society.
He said after undergoing investigations, the 3 suspects will be charged to court.
So as it is now, investigation is still on, and they are very, very collaborative, and they are giving us more information concerning the cartel involved in this kind of act. So as it is, investigation is still on. Immediately after investigation is concluded, they will be charged to court.
The commandant appealed to the public to always cooperate with security agencies by giving them appropriate information that would ease the job of fighting crime and ensure peace in the society. One of the suspects, Ovie Jonathan, admitted to committing the offense and attributed their action to evil influence.
Now, a pair of lawmakers have called on the United States to rescind a nearly $1 billion helicopter sale to Nigeria, saying that allegations of a forced abortion program have renewed concerns on human rights. Congress had delayed the sale over concerns about the Nigerian Army's commitment to protect civilians as it battles an uprising in the northwest, as well as the bloody repression of protests against police violence in 2020. But President Joe Biden's administration approved the sale of 12 Viper attack helicopters last year, saying that equipment will promote security in Africa's most populous country. Representatives Chris Smith, a Republican active on human rights and strong opponent of abortion, and Sarah Jacobs, a Democrat who formerly worked for the State Department, said that Nigeria's armed forces had a consistent record of abuses and that past aid had done little to boost security. The U.S. lawmakers' call comes amid sporadic violence ahead of the February 25 elections in Nigeria. Now, away from Nigeria, 12 days after the Turkey-Syria earthquake, 3 people, including a child, were rescued alive from the rubble of a building in Antakya city of southern Turkey on Saturday. State news agency Anadolu said that more than 46,000 people have been killed in the earthquake, and the toll is expected to soar, with some 264,000 apartments in Turkey destroyed and many still missing in the country's worst modern disaster. Among those killed is Ghanaian footballer Christian Asu, whose body was recovered on Saturday morning from the quake rubble. A journalist from Turkish television channel NTV later reported that one of those found had died after being taken to the hospital. NTV broadcast images of rescuers placing the rescued people onto stretchers after they had spent 296 hours trapped in the rubble.
And daughter.
I can't believe it. I thought my family would be all dead. I didn't want to come out alive because I thought they wouldn't be here.
We are waiting outside with Mehmet Ali's family. He and my brother became friends inside, and we became friends with Mehmet Ali's family outside. We have been sleeping by the wreckage for days.
I had lost hope. This is a real miracle. After seeing that wreck, I'd never thought my son would ever get out alive. I was prepared for the worst case. Allah has gifted my son to me for the second time.
With the chances of finding more survivors diminishing rapidly, excavators and trucks are working to clear the rubble where it's known no one.
And now in sports news, ADM basketball team of Enugu on Friday won the 3rd edition of Sports, Music and Culture basketball tournament tagged Basketball Redefined in Enugu. As the final match played at the indoor sports hall of the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium Enugu ADM defeated Black Tigers basketball team by 12-6. The tournament, which was sponsored by a basketball enthusiast Arinze Naji, has 16 teams from Anambra, Ebonyi, and Enugu as participating teams. Hawks, another team from Enugu, narrowly beat Ebonyi team to 12-11 at the third place competition. ADM player Fabian Okpara said that the competition gave the players an opportunity to test the tactics they learned at the training. And that's a wrap on the news update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.